We're still slut dropping, but with a sense of peace underneath it all.
The message of this whole podcast is you can slut drop and still be peaceful. Done.
A peaceful slut drop is a real thing.
In my personal, very humble opinion, you have never, ever released a bad song. It's bop after bop after bop on toast. And now you're serving us the summer hit that we need in Heat, which, can I just say, is the biggest earworm ever. It has not left my head since the first time I listened to it. It's like, Heat,
Yay!
all the time. I mean, I should be doing backing vocals. Tell me how this song found you.
Been putting music out for a while now, and so I'm always sort of like hesitant on anything that I put out and it feeling new and fresh and like having a perspective that I haven't done before. And you know, I've been doing this now for over 10 years, so like it really needs to have an intention and a purpose. And like during the making of this project, which I'm obviously building to an album because that's like always what I do.
Thank God.
My last record was amazing in my opinion because it had like depth and a storyline, and it was about like love, and you know, I got married and I really was inspired by like my relationship, and it just was where I was at in my life. And now I'm at a point where it's like, love my partner, love my relationship, but fuck that. I just want to like be in the moment and have fun and think about what I want to feel like when I'm like in Ibiza with my friends, drinking a Chardonnay with ice, having like the sun beaming down, SPF making me sweat. Like, how do I want to feel when I'm like drunk in the day? And that was how Heat happened. Troye Sivan and Leland, who are great friends of mine, had the idea, and Peter Thomas, who's a producer who's done a lot of songs on my record actually, brought this idea to me, and I was like, this is exactly what is on my mood board. And I love the idea of the fact I'm speaking and it's like sex on sight. It's intentional, it's direct, it's kind of cheeky, it's rude, it's ignorant, it's like iconic, it's like, you know, 10 plus years in the game, I'm allowed to spit this kind of like lyric, you know, I can like be a little bit overconfident now, and like I wanted to just have that essence of let's just go, let's go.
You've been going for like over a decade now, and to have that level of staying power is so hard in any industry, but especially how tough the music industry is and the entertainment industry, full stop. How have you managed to keep going?
Even though in moments I'm like, is it worth it? I need to remember that I love it, that I was that 6-year-old that was begging to sing happy birthday at every birthday party. And, you know, even going through therapy and things, like, I don't think people remember their younger selves. And, like, that's always what I go back to when I feel like I have nothing left in my tank.
Has there been, like, a plot twist that you didn't see coming that really has helped you in the long run?
Yeah, I think my ability to do more than one thing, I think that's helped me a lot. And I think that's separated me from other people. I think people have this love and hate relationship with people that do more than one thing. It's like, do you love music or do you love film? I love both, and I always will, and I want to do everything. Like, my mission when I first started was always to do things at the same time. And maybe that's probably why I've hung out. I've been around longer than other people, because I don't have a life and I work like 3 different jobs in one day. My work ethic, don't want to overspeak for myself, but I will, because I'm proud of it. I think it's higher than other people's in a lot of different ways, on doing TV, doing film. I just came off this 3.5-month shoot I did in Australia for a huge film called Voltron, which is a big budget movie, and it's not easy, you know, doing these things and then also making a record on the weekends, which is the only days I have off, you know. So I'm just trying to give you a perspective of like, if you're willing to do the work, like nothing is impossible. And I think that is what's kept me going, like knowing that I love doing film and TV and fashion and music. And I really do believe people can do it all.
You almost like apologize for your work ethic earlier. And
Yeah.
I find that really interesting because I feel like if I was sat across from a man, they would never apologize for saying that they work harder than other people. Do you feel like there is still such a problem with someone saying that I'm a hardworking, ambitious woman? And do you think it's judged differently?
I don't think it's judged this fairly, actually, with women, definitely. But that doesn't mean to say that there's not a lot of incredible hardworking women out there. I mean, if you look at it now, it's so different to even 10 years ago, with how much women have been super ambitious over the years, and I do see it building and changing. I mean, we have a long way to go, but I'm really optimistic about how awesome it's been looking. But no, I wasn't apologizing in the sense of about my work ethic. I was apologizing with the fact that I'm admitting that I'm working a bit more than I would say other people have or do. But that's not me like offending the idea of women having work ethic. It's just me saying that I know I work a little harder than other people.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. But I think what's interesting about that is I think a man wouldn't feel the need to have to apologize about that ever.
I see,
And I think
yeah, or even say that.
Yeah, because I think it's sad that
Yeah.
we're in a situation where women still have to feel like they have to apologize for being that headstrong, that ambitious.
Yeah, it is strange. I just think we have to just keep doing and pushing forward, because I always want to just break boundaries and inspire people, and like that's always been my goal. And I do sacrifice a lot of things to do that. Like I don't see my family as much. I have like lonely birthdays. I miss Christmases. It's a lot of sacrifices to do this.
And I think it's really inspiring to hear you talking about that because we see a lot of the success on the front and we see, all the top 10 singles you had, all the number ones, all the amazing achievements you've had. And actually, there's so much hard work that goes on behind the scenes to get that. And it's great to hear you talking about that and being unapologetic for your work ethic. I just love to hear it.
Thank you. I just hope it doesn't come across as insensitive or arrogant, because it's not, but I'm really just proud of how hard I work. And I think that that's kept me going, because it's made me think, wow, I can't believe I did that. Okay, cool. So I think I have a bit more strength than I thought I did. Oh, let's try doing this. And then like from that, it's like built into bigger dreams, and it's made me believe in myself. And it can start small too. It doesn't have to be like, I have to win an Oscar in the first year of the first film I do. It could just be like, I did a film, and that is so cool. So yeah, I hope that comes across in that sense, because I do see a lot of women in my industry that work really hard, and I have a lot of great friends, Jess Glynn, Ellie Goulding, Jessie J, and that's sort of my era. Does that make sense? Like, of girls that came out when I came out. And we always stay in touch, and yeah, times change, but we still keep pushing on and trying to stay true to our artistry.
And you girls work hard. And I think it's so great that you do, because even just last year, there was like a UK parliamentary report that's found that the music industry still remains a boys' club, which is very true. It's made so many progresses towards equality in front, on stage, and also behind the scenes as well. But there's so much work to do, and there's so much misogyny that is still rife in the music industry. Is there a moment of misogyny that's really stuck with you?
Well, I mean, I guess you've heard these like record label stories from artists, when they've had meetings, and the majority of those bosses are usually men. And, they have this power that we all kind of like we want to impress them so we can get a record deal or what it is. And yeah, there's been moments where they've overused their power and shown off like their power to me in meetings. In my earlier years, when I was about 16, I had a record label meeting, I remember, and he had a point. The music wasn't as good as it could have been at the time, but I was also a kid. And so I walked in, I remember, and I was 16, and he just kind of listened to it for like 2 seconds, turned it off, threw his credit card at me, and was like, go get inspired. And basically, like, go buy some CDs, and like threw it at me like that. And I was just like, oh, okay. And it just felt so like, I just felt so gross and upset because you don't have to do that to a kid. It's like, you could just simply say you need to go work a little bit more and a bit harder and come back when, you've got something else. But there's ways of doing things. But that was just my first experience. I'm sure other people have many different ones.
You talked about therapy at the beginning of the interview too, and has that been like a real godsend to you in many ways?
Yeah, well, my mum's a psychiatrist, and I mean, she never forced it on us, but there was always that like essence of maybe you should speak to somebody. And I think you have to find it yourself. Like, you'll never do it when someone tells you to do it. And I did. I found it like turning 30 was insane. I like got married, and being 30, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting old. Like, I had that whole thing going through me. And even though it's not, and everyone's like, relax, and I believe in that now. Age is nothing but a number. It's just how you feel. And so I've always just decided, okay, now's a good time to just like get my life in check, and let me just see what I've been doing and what I can do to make it better. And that's all I did, really. And now I've just got really cool, great tools, and I just feel more confident in my choices, like with my music and things, which makes me a better artist because now I'm like putting out music and I feel really confident about it. And I'm not like, what if people don't like it? And I'm just kind of like, you can't control it, so let's do it.
And you talked about the 6-year-old you who always wanted to get up and sing happy birthday. And I think
Yeah.
should be so proud of
Oh,
the
don't make me
incredible
cry.
artist that you've become. Do you have a very, very like personal relationship with your inner child in a way?
I do. I do, because I think that's like the biggest thing we forget when we get older. That sort of inner person, child, even adult, whatever it is, it just never goes away. And it also takes the pressure off you as a human. If you're like helping something else, it works for me. I always find that it relaxes me more. When I'm like looking after my inner self, or I'm like, don't worry, we've got this, I almost feel like it's releasing the pressure off me a little bit. And that's what I learned in therapy, actually. When you're kind of putting it onto something else or you're helping something else, it makes you feel less anxious, which kind of helps me a lot. But I think that's just, again, a tool. Like, people have different tools that they use. That's just a tool of mine that I like to use. I also like to like look at myself out of my body, like manifest. So I almost like, it sounds insane, but I close my eyes, and I'm not trippy. This is dead sober talk, by the way. You close your eyes and you like envision yourself from like from the outside, and then you envision yourself in the place that you want. So like, if you want a house, or if you want a job, or if you want all these different things, you have to close your eyes and see yourself outside of your body in that exact room that you want, or something like that. That's kind of what I do. It takes a lot of practice though, but it's amazing.
And also, I like the idea of focusing on your inner child and taking that pressure off. That's such a great piece of advice. And I've never thought about it like that.
Yeah, because then you're like, why am I caring so much about myself? Because if you care about something else, it almost makes you not care about yourself as much.
Speaking of your inner child and your younger self, one of the reasons you are so inspirational is because of your roots and the fact that your family came to the UK as refugees, escaping persecution, and now you're a UNICEF UK
Yeah.
ambassador. And that's almost like you doing that for younger you as well. Like, that's an incredible gift you've given that younger you and to yourself and to a big community as well. And I think it's so important we are talking about refugees and immigrant rights and all of the things right now because it's such a difficult time and it's very politicized. What kind of message would you want to send out there about refugees and immigrant rights?
I'm not a politician, but I think the proof speaks for itself. I mean, you've got incredible artists in movies, in music, you know, Dua Lipa being one of them, who's my fellow sister from the same place that I'm from. And, you know, we are having great careers, and I just feel like once we get given an opportunity to make our dreams come true, it really is possible, and we can really move and inspire others. As you can see, you know, there's a lot of, you know, immigrants or immigrant parents, sort of children that come from immigrant parents that grew up in London or born in London, and they're doing incredible things, and they're politicians, for example. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not quite sure why we still feel like we have to prove that. There's so much proof already. And I hope it just continues, you know, and people don't feel disheartened to do what they love, or feel like they can't do what they love because of who they are or where they come from. Like, you don't pick where you're born or who you're from, or like who your parents are. You just can choose who you want to be. And like, if that is something you really believe in, your dreams, go and make them come true. But we need help to have those tools to do that.